Hi, I'm Rich Pastorolla from Hazleton Kung Fu, and I'm here to answer the question that's on everybody's mind. Why should you take Kung Fu? Why should you participate in a Kung Fu program? What benefit is there in it for you? And to answer that question, I'd like to talk to you about something that I have happen here on a regular basis. I have black belts from other martial arts that come to me and tell me that they can't defend themselves. This is very sad because these people have spent a lot of time, money, and effort in the pursuit of something, and they haven't been able to achieve it. And the thing that they were trying to achieve was the ability to defend themselves. So what are the aspects or the fundamentals of self-defense that an individual has to achieve to be able to successfully defend themselves? And I'd like to outline those for you right now. First and foremost, the person has to learn a technique, a technical mastery that allows them to be successful in a given beat of time. And we got the idea that this was primary with our experiences in World War II when we went up against a much smaller Japanese individual, and we found that we were very unsuccessful in hand-to-hand combat against the smaller Japanese because they had some kind of a knowledge or ability that we weren't used to or we weren't aware of. And that ability was Kabuto. That was Japanese martial arts. Okay, and we jumped to a conclusion, though, that was very wrong. We jumped to a conclusion that it had nothing to do with size or strength, that it had to do with some kind of an intellectual knowledge. Like if I drew something on a blackboard back here, and if you memorize that, whatever that was on the blackboard, that you'd be successful in defending yourself. Well, there's never been a sillier myth that's ever been perpetrated on somebody than that. And we have all kind of evidence to tell you that. Back in the 1930s, we had a 275-pound Swede who went up against the Japanese heavyweight judo champion, and that 180-pound Japanese guy got on the wrong end of the match because the 200 he couldn't deal with somebody who was that big and that strong. So strength and size has something to do with it. But technique also has something to do with it. So there's more to it than what we really thought there was. And so what are the other aspects? Second, there has to be the right attitude. You know, you get into a fight, the first time you hit somebody, does you knock them down and that's over with? The fight's over with? In most cases, that isn't the way it goes. In most cases, like to quote my old boxing trainer, John, the other guy has 2 hands and 2 feet too. Okay, the person's going to fight back, and they're going to fight back hard. And you have to have the proper fighting attitude to be able, even though your eye was cut, to be able to continue on and persevere. Even though you're getting tired, to be able to continue on and persevere. The proper fighting spirit, you might say, to be able to persevere and win. That's the second aspect of successful fighting and successful self-defense, and it's developed in a Kung Fu program. The third aspect, spiritual development. We don't often think of this, spiritual development, but spiritual development is definitely part of training. Why are you fighting? What are you defending? What's important in life? Why is it okay for you to use violence? All of these questions are spiritual questions, and if you aren't confident and sure in your feelings on these issues, then you're going to be much less successful and much less able to defend yourself. Fourth, another issue that nobody wants to talk about, having the strength to make the technique work. You know, we always see these ads in magazines and so forth saying, just learn karate, just learn kung fu, just learn oriental martial arts, and a 98-pound woman can throw around a 200-pound guy. Well, it's a silly concept. Anybody who has ever seen that kind of a confrontation will tell you that that's not the way it goes. Okay, strength is a real factor in a self-defense confrontation. And for women and smaller men, I'm sorry to say that you're at a tremendous disadvantage. But a complete martial arts system has a systematic and a step-by-step way of making you stronger than you ever thought you could be or than you ever imagined. Okay, and last but not least is the knowledge of kinetics. And kinetics are your ability to use your body the way it was designed mechanically to be used, to be able to get the most efficiency out of your body. And this goes a long way to overcoming the lever of the other person being bigger and stronger. Okay, so to sum it all up again, good solid techniques that are passed down through the centuries, The proper fighting attitude or fighting spirit to be able to persevere under difficult conditions. Spiritual attitudes, so you understand why it's okay to use violence to protect yourself and what is really on the line and what's important to you. The strength, number 4, the strength to be able to prevail against the person who's maybe even larger. And finally, knowledge of kinetics and being able to use your body the way God designed it to be used. 5 reasons and 5 things that are covered in any complete Kung Fu program, and we cover them here at Hazleton Kung Fu.